Hello everyone, my name is Francesco Cipollone. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Phoenix Security. Today I'm super excited to launch a second big batch of features in this campaign for Phoenix Purple launch. Phoenix Purple is our agentic code analysis scanner based on knowledge graph. Today we are here to launch one of my dreams. Let's take maybe a step back in the past. When I was leading my engineering team, one of the challenges that we had was, hey, we have findings from this scanner, we have findings from these other scanners. Ultimately, my engineering team was asking, for the things that I care about, which one are the priority, first of all? And most importantly, how do I remediate? Which one I should worry about, which one I should not worry about? And for years in the industry, we take prioritization, deduplication, correlation as terms, but engineers don't care about which finding is correlated with which other findings, which CWE like 2022 or 84 are more important. They only care about, give me the list of batch of findings that I need to remediate, and ideally give me my remediation plan or an assessment if this is a breaking change, non-breaking change. That enables security to talk to engineering and enable velocity on fixes. And in this Mythos-ready world where we need to fix things super fast with days of hours from declaration to exploitation, this is even more important. That is the one-click button for assessment and remediation, or as I call it, YOLO Fix and YOLO Remediation, as a joke of you only live once. The objective of these two buttons and Phoenix Purple is to provide assessment if the vulnerability in your code base can be chained together to deliver an active exploit. And then on the back of that analysis, understanding if that active exploit or that chain of vulnerability can be remediated. But most importantly, provide the team a pull request with the remediation plan and the fixes already delivered, so they only need to analyze the assessment that Phoenix Purple has delivered. Is this a breaking change? Is this potentially a breaking change, or there are things that I should worry about? Or is this definitely a breaking change, or I don't have knowledge about a library upgrade so that I need to do some work to do an assessment because we can't, as Phoenix, determine what to do next. And this enable engineering velocity at the speed of the knowledge graph, and with the token consumption being absolutely taken down to the minimum because the knowledge graph is automatically rebuilt and the LLM just navigate the graph to make assumption. So every single one of your token doesn't go wasted in creating context, but it goes in creating remediation for your engineering team. This has been my dream, to assess a high-stake vulnerability, if it's a breaking change, if it can be chained together with other vulnerability, and delivering to the engineering team one single remediation plan or multiple remediation plan broken down by simplicity, so that the team can understand, I can schedule it this week, I can do it tonight or tomorrow morning, or do I need to do a full regression testing because this is a gradual upgrade, hence it's a big change and it's going to have a lot of impact. But all of that with one single click of a button called YOLO Fix or YOLO Remediate and YOLO Assess. Without further ado, let me show you why I'm so excited about this technology. Well, let's see an example of an application. I choose our vulnerable application. This is the graph of knowledge with all of the connection that helps us navigating. But if we click on SCA, we have the SCA scanning type. You have fast, full, smart, and deep. Full is a full analysis, plus smart and deep has an AI component. So if you need to balance between your compliance settings, where you want to do a lot of scan on a weekly basis, or you want to do a scan plus AI capability, you have multiple options. So if we want to assess one single finding, we can definitely deep dive in one specific vulnerability with a CVE associated Once you drill in, you can see the CV associated with each one of these library, the risk score, and then if you have blue enable, you have more capability available. And the platform will help navigating through the graph of knowledge to understand, is this particular library vulnerable? Can it be chained to other vulnerability? And this has been always my dream. My favorite button overall is the YOLO mode. Means assess all of the vulnerability that I have identified with a deterministic scan, and then assess if they're all chainable, if they can be combined together, which one is dangerous, which one is not, while the other one will assess and will do an analysis. Here will show all of the vulnerability, which one is true positive, which one is false positive, which one can be chained together, the risk level of chainability, the mitigation and mitigation plan, and so on. And this, with one click of a button, is absolutely amazing, because you can get, with one click, an assessment of 30 plus individual findings from an SCA perspective. Now, if we go from a SAST perspective, also this can be translated and analyzed, assess these individual findings in the whole code base, again, like the other one. If we want to do a specific assessment, it will analyze this on all of the codes that it has done and all of the assessment that it has done before on the particular code base. So this works as well if you reindex the code base and you switch from master to one of the branches, or you need to reindex your repo and reassess if the finding that you scanned, I don't know, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, are now still applicable, and which one is true positive, which one is false positive. The last one of my favorite buttons, that is again the YOLO Resolve, is when you don't have time to remediate vulnerabilities and you want to assess all of the vulnerability, or in this particular case, the library, and really produce a plan. And the plan is broken down in the side chat, but also in the pull request on the safe to apply upgrade. Means they are just a small upgrade, they don't touch HAT, and they're safe to upgrade. Low and moderate risk, this require a little bit of your attention. Whilst the breaking change, this needs to review, and it gives you the rationale for the review, as well as the type of vulnerability that you fix, and the analysis that it does, and why it detects. And this is a particularly important thing that was for us. We wanted to give reasoning, and we wanted to give an analysis of this vulnerability, because it was super important to ground these findings in reality, so that you can push this to your engineers with confidence, explaining the rationale, and then they can agree or disagree. But in general, with one click of a button, you can assess, remediate one or multiple vulnerability altogether. And this has always been my dream. So enjoy the YOLO modes and spend more time finding the zero day that really matters versus spending time triaging things on a spreadsheet. This is Francesco Cipollone, Franco friend. Enjoy Phoenix Purple and enjoy SAST and SCA Scan. Goodbye.
Fix vulnerabilities today before attackers exploit them tomorrow.